Hi, Rebecca here from SimpleSuburbanLiving.us, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make Indian spiced potatoes. Before I get started, I want to just very quickly go over the ingredients for this dish. First, we have cumin seeds. Then there's 1 diced red onion and 3 cloves of minced garlic. This is jalapeno, and I actually had dehydrated jalapeno in my pantry, and I'm kind of making this on the fly, so I don't have fresh jalapeno, but this is going to taste just as good, and probably in the future I'll do some video showing you how to make it yourself, because trust me, it's really good, and it's great to have in your pantry. Okay, then our spices are salt, turmeric, and amchur. So it's about a teaspoon of amchur powder, a teaspoon of salt, well, a little less than a teaspoon. I think I've got about 3/4 of a teaspoon, and a 1/4 of a teaspoon of turmeric. And if you're not familiar with amchur, it is dried mango powder, and it's dried when the mangoes are green, so it has kind of a sour taste to it. This you probably won't be able to get in your regular grocery store, but you can get it at an Indian grocery store. If you go to a big spice store that sells all kinds of spices, you can probably buy it, and then of course online as well. And then I have potatoes that have already been boiled and cubed, and I did peel them kind of roughly. Usually I don't peel my potatoes, but I decided to do it for this recipe. I did about 8 small potatoes. I'm going to say it's probably around 4 cups of cubed cooked potatoes, and I made them in the Instant Pot, but you could also boil them in the pan. Okay, now in this pot I have about 2 tablespoons of olive oil that have already been heated, and the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in the cumin seeds, and you can kind of hear they're sizzling a bit. I just want to let them sizzle for about 30 seconds or so. Alright, so they're kind of turning a little bit of a darker color, and they're emitting a nice fragrance. So now I want to add in my onion and garlic, and I'm going to cook this for, it might take 5 minutes or so. I'm going to basically cook it until the onion gets translucent and even a little bit browned, and same with the garlic getting a little bit brown. So I'll come back when that's done, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, it's actually been about 7 minutes now, and there's a little bit of browning going on, not a lot, but that's kind of what I want because I don't want the garlic to burn. So now I'm going to add in the jalapeno and cook it for about another minute. I'll pause here for just a minute while that cooks a bit more. Now, if you were using fresh jalapenos, you could add those with the onions and garlic, or put them in later. It just kind of depends on if you want them to be cooked all the way through or not. Since I was using dehydrated and I had rehydrated them already, they really didn't need cooking. Okay, now I'm going to add my spices. Now, I want to say another word about the amchur. If you're not able to get it, you can leave it out, and at the very end add in some lemon juice. It's not going to be the same, but it'll give it that tart flavor that we're looking for with this. So I'm going to stir that in and let it cook for about a minute. You want to be careful that you don't burn the spices. But generally, you can see that there's a lot of oil still here and juice from the onions. And I'm noticing that some of my amchur is a little bit clumpy. So, I probably should have broke that up before I put it in there, but I'm just using the back of my spoon to break it up. This smells so good. This is something that my cook in India made for us. And I tell you, I remember the first time I ate it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. I don't know what you have in here, but it's so tasty. So then later I had him show me how to do it. And by the way, in India, we ate this for breakfast, which I happen to be eating now. We're going to be having breakfast here soon. And, but it's obviously spicy and everything, and so you might want to, if you're not Indian and this seems weird for breakfast, you might want to serve it for lunch or dinner instead. Okay, and the very last step is to add the potatoes. I'm going to actually turn the heat off now, and they're already cooked. And basically what we want to do is we just want them to get coated with this mixture. So I'm going to put the camera down for just a minute and get them all mixed in, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so there it is, all mixed together, and you can see that the onions and the oil and the spices just make a really nice coating for the potatoes and give it great flavor. At this point, you could also test it for salt and add more salt if you feel like it needs it, or just allow people to add more salt to taste. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would appreciate it if you would give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already done so, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much, and have a great day.